It began 9 years ago with what the Pentagon called shock and awe. It ended today with humble words. The Vice President of the United States slipped into Baghdad unannounced for his own safety to hand over the U.S. military headquarters to Iraq. What began in 2003 as an effort to overthrow Saddam Hussein became a vicious religious war, pitting Iraqi against Iraqi, with the U.S. caught in the middle. Today, the violence has subsided, and Iraq is the only Arab democracy. But the future remains uncertain. Jim Axelrod was with the U.S. invasion force in 2003, and he's back there today.
At Camp Victory, the U.S. military headquarters in Iraq for nearly 9 years, Vice President Biden paid tribute to the nearly 4,500 U.S. troops who lost their lives here, and the more than 40,000 wounded.
Because of you and the work of those of you in uniform have done, we are now able to end this war.
Neither side would call it a handover ceremony, but that's exactly what it was. This is the last night U.S. troops will sleep at Camp Victory. Beginning tomorrow, the Iraqis will control it. 13,000 U.S. troops remain in Iraq. That number will be 0 in 3 weeks if the plan holds. The main worry here is that when troops leave, there will be an eruption of violence between Sunni and Shia Arabs, a return to the bloodiest days here, or even worse, a descent into civil war. But former National Security Advisor Muwafaq al-Rubai is not worried, saying any outbreak of sectarian conflict will not last.
We have built over the last 9 years good Iraqi security forces, which I believe are much more suited for this fight.
But that confidence isn't necessarily shared by the people here, who are looking just a few weeks into their future and wondering if the Iraqi security forces will be able to protect them all on their own. At Baghdad's Ma'amun University, students told us the answer is no.
I feel bad, but because we don't have a good army in Iraq.
You don't feel the Iraqi security apparatus is ready?
No, they cannot. They're not ready. They're not ready.
Not ready.
Not ready.
But for many other Iraqis, it is high time to find out, because after nearly 9 years, U.S. troops must go. They're behind all the problems, this man says. Yes, they are. No one can convince me they're not, or that they've done anything good. Expect the next few weeks to see a spike in violence here as international attention again focuses on Iraq. Just today in Diyala province, north of here, a Sunni stronghold, 10 Shiites killed in a car bomb, and then a Sunni leader and his entire family shot and killed in their home, at least 7 more dead there. The question looming over the country tonight, Scott, is that an exception or a return to some sort of violent rule?
Jim, you have an interesting perspective on all of this. As we mentioned, back in 2003, you were with the 3rd Infantry Division, the very first U.S. force to enter Baghdad and to take the airport there in that city. And I wonder, after all of this time, now that you've returned, how are things different?
Well, it was quite a difference to go to the airport just the other day. Again, after the 3rd Infantry took the airport in 2003, it was a nasty fight, and of course the airport was a war zone. Today, it's a bustling place, lots of international flights we saw, and that sort of reflects what we've been seeing around the city. A lot of traffic, a lot of people on the streets. That college campus we visited today, packed. People are no longer huddling in their homes, obviously worried for their lives. They're looking to the future here in Iraq, Scott, but they're doing so with a great deal of anxiety.
Jim, thanks very much. In addition to the American losses, it is estimated that more than 50,000 Iraqi civilians were killed in the war.